Hello. Yes, I'm back. Just sitting out here trying to decide other things I'm working on. Doing my cabinets in the house, which is going to probably take me more than a day, so it won't be done today. But I probably will have that up tomorrow. But I was just thinking, so something to talk about was how being an empty nester is different, I think, for us that were stay-at-home moms. Because usually you still have your job, your career, things change differently than when your main job was your children. So, I gave up my career years ago, so that was already things I've learned that a lot of people, when you retire, you change your identity and everything when you quit your job to retire, and you have to learn new things. Well, we decided years ago, Tony got a better job that would be out of town, so instead of us both working, one of us would stay home with the kids. So I stayed home, so there would always be a parent there since he would be out of town a lot. Raised our 4 children, and then, yes, they grew up. There was different ages. There was like 5 to 6 years in between 2 generations of children, so I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. And during the time that I was still a stay-at-home mom, I became a grandmother and was partly a stay-at-home grandmother. So my daughter didn't need a babysitter, or my son for a little while. So I had my youngest that were still in school, and then I had my grandchildren that needed someone to watch them. So I always had lots of children in the house and rotated around them. A lot of people think you're a stay-at-home mom. You don't do that much. Only people that aren't stay-at-home mom can laugh about that and think that way, because stay-at-home mom knows you do. And everything you do normally is around your children too. So they are your job. The best job, though. And it's just who you are, what you do. You spend all day making sure they're all fed several times a day. They get dressed, take baths when they don't want to, especially when you have certain school, more like regular school age kids or elementary, junior high. You have to kind of encourage them to get in the tub, especially in summertime. Things to entertain them when they're not in school, doing preschool when they're still hadn't started school, much less all the doctor's appointments and different things they need to do there, clothes shopping. On top of that, your spouse, when they come in, you have to make sure whatever needs to get done there. If there's stuff at the house and your spouses can't be there to be for repairs or anything like that. When you have to go grow, there's a lot when you're a stay-at-home parent. So when all that ends, it's a lot different than when you retire. You kind of go through the different stages. When you have a career and you become an empty nester, you still normally have your career before you retire. But when your career was your children, it's a little different, and you already have to start. You've already changed from a career to a different one. So you've already learned some of that. And then you have to change your whole life around when it's not revolving around your children. Of course, I still do see my children, and we try to do family stuff. I am really trying to learn not to make them be responsible for still entertaining me. But they're still great when I need them, and I still get to do some things. Like yesterday, we spent the day with my Kanan because he had like an orientation, get to know his new school, and his parents had to work. So Tony and I got to fill in that part. and take him to the school, and then we got to do lunch with him, so we got some Canaan time in. Um, but it's just a little here and there when there's activities at school. Other than that, it's now just around the home. Like, I guess I'm now just the stay-at-home wife. So I keep the house running. I try to decide what things need to be done. When it's time for Tony to come home, make sure we have what we need for when he's at home, and then help him pack. Make sure he has his clothes and food to pack up for when he goes back out of town. And then during that time, it's taking care of the home and my own little adventures. And then if anyone else needs me. But I never really am bored and don't have time. It's just I bounce between what I want to focus on. And then I do have some big hobbies, like since I do love plants so much and I love to propagate plants, I do go with my oldest sister. Once a month during the spring and fall, we go to a chicken swap, and we have our own little booth, and she used to do chickens, but she's gotten out of them as she's gotten older. So we do plants in all my propagations, and when I get too many plants, I take them there to get some, to find new homes. And then about 3 times a year, we do a local plant swap for gardeners in our area. And I take a lot of plants there, and recently I've started helping co-host that. So usually, and it's going to be this next one, which is on October 4th, I am going to downsize my plants to try to get a lot of them there. Whatever I don't get rid of at the chicken swap, we'll go to the plant swap. And I love doing that because there's a lot of people that they're just starting to be gardeners, and they need to learn, and they need stuff. And so it's a lot of people to talk to. I love sharing, and that's a great place for when you first get into the hobby. You're kind of obsessed, and you want a little bit of everything. You want to try different stuff out, and then you want to see stuff you've never seen. So I'll have a lot of things that I take there and share, and you meet a lot of new people that way. Especially in your new chapter of life, of after your kids are grown and stuff. You want to meet new people that have like hobbies and things they like. So that's always good for that. Also meet up with friends that you went to high school with and you haven't seen for years, because Donna is co-hosting the swap with me, the last one and this one. So I get to make up with friends we haven't seen for years. But still kind of defining life. This is my turn, I guess, to rearrange my stuff, and hopefully I'll figure it all out by the time Tony's ready to retire and has to figure all his stuff out. But we are doing it together, and it does make a difference if you don't have an outside the home career when all your kids are grown and you're not needing to babysit. So I guess it's the same as when you retire from your career and you're trying to decide what your new identity is, I guess. That's where I'm at, because yeah, I do miss the kids running around, but then, you get tired and burn out when you're in the middle of it. And so it's nice to have just a lot of me time. But I kind of get a little obsessive during those times, and I overdo it like I have with too many plants. So I'm getting behind on those, and I know I'm going to downsize because it has been a little difficult to keep up. I'll catch up and do nice with some in one section of my collection. Like this time of year, I like to work more with my outside ones. I kind of neglect the inside ones. And then during winter, I want everybody inside, and I let whatever I'm supposed to be babying outside. Hopefully the greenhouse will stop that. But there's still a lot to do, and I haven't caught up, and the end of the year's coming. So, yeah, I'm going to downsize and try to make it a little more manageable. I don't want my whole life to be trying to keep my plants alive. I want to find other things to do. And I want to have more free time for when I do get an opportunity to do grandbaby stuff and more family stuff. The holidays are coming up, and I don't want, my hobbies to be a priority during those times. So we're going to work on that. And if y'all want to see if I can manage to do that, you can subscribe, follow, and hopefully in the future I'll get this better under control. Has anyone had any luck? What are your changes you've made? How many stay-at-home moms are empty nesters now? A lot of us Gen Xers, I'm sure. Y'all have a blessed day.